Welcome into One of One Sports. All right, let's do the ACC Tournament Predictions. This was one of the weaker conferences of the major conferences of the country this year. And this is what the bracket's going to look like. We see only 14 teams make it in. So a team like Miami, NC State, a couple other teams too that aren't jumping out at me right away. But, anyways, don't even qualify for this conference tournament. So starting off with Notre Dame Pitt, Notre Dame just played an absolutely wild quadruple overtime game that they came out on top of Cal. And that game actually, I think that's gonna. You could argue they'll be like tired. I think it's gonna motivate them making all those clutch plays down the stretch. I think they're gonna be playing like energized. I think they're gonna beat Pitt, who I don't think has been playing very well. Then Virginia Tech and Cal. I almost want to pick Cal for the upset here, but they were really poor in conference play this year. I didn't watch a ton of Virginia Tech, so I'm not too confident either way because I didn't watch Virginia Tech enough to have a super strong opinion. But I will go with the Hokies to win this one. And then at the bottom, I'm going Florida State. I like Jameer Watkins a lot for them, and I don't think Leonard Hamilton ends his career in the first round. I think it goes one more at least. Moving back up top for Georgia Tech, Virginia. This is another 50-50 game, like two very, very mediocre teams. And I slightly lean Virginia just because I think they played a bit better at the end of the season. Really not that much to it. It could really go either way. But Virginia did challenge Clemson. They upset Wake Forest. So because of those games, I'll lean Virginia here. Then North Carolina, I think, ends this or beats Notre Dame. It's not really a run if you only win one game. Uh, Based off that Duke game and the way North Carolina played since the Clemson loss, they've been a much, much better team. If they'd been playing like this all season, I think they would clearly be a tournament team. So I think based on that, they'll be able to beat Notre Dame, who's not on that level. Then coming down to Virginia Tech versus Stanford, I will go with Stanford. Raynaud, or however you say his name, the center for Stanford, really good player. Maybe makes all ACC first team potentially. And like when he's playing well and everything runs through Stanford, I think they're a very solid team and will beat Virginia Tech. And then this was the toughest one for me to pick. No, Georgia Tech, Virginia was tougher, but I really wanted to go with the upset here for a while. But I couldn't quite talk myself into it. I think SMU is just the better team. And when that offense, like if you don't limit their offense, they have some really high scoring games. And Florida State, I could see not playing well defensively, allowing SMU to just keep scoring. And Florida State, I don't see as the type of team to keep up with that. So yeah, that's why I'm going with the Mustangs there. Back up top, it's a clear pick for Duke. I mean, you lose one game in conference all year. Virginia's not going to beat you here. You're a much more talented team. You have the player of the year potentially in Cooper Flag. There's just no reason to pick Virginia here. And then what is probably the best game so far, Wake Forest, North Carolina. Hunter Salas, really good guard for Wake Forest. North Carolina, of course, has a great guard in R.J. Davis. The freshmen are good. And like I said, North Carolina is just playing way better than they were earlier in the season. Wake Forest, I don't think has been playing that well. They've lost some questionable games. Losing to Virginia, losing to Florida State, these things concern me when winning these games would have kept you in the NCAA tournament. North Carolina, on the other hand, has played like a team trying to get in, like everything is on the line. And because of that, I have to pick North Carolina. And additionally, they are more talented. Like you have two five-star freshmen. You have a reigning ACC Player of the Year in R.J. Davis. You have Elliot Cadeau. The power forward play has been better with Withers getting in there. Team's been more well-rounded, playing better. I got to go North Carolina there. And then coming down here for Louisville and Stanford, like I said, Stanford center very, very good. And I haven't watched as much Louisville as I would like, but when a team loses two conference games all year, that is really impressive. Dogs barking. Hopefully that stops. Chucky Hepburn, probably first team All ACC. He's been really good for them. Edwards been really good. And I think they win this game. You don't play as well as they did in conference play and then go out in your first game, in my opinion. And the same logic applies to a Clemson team who also stop barking. Who also went 17-2. I'm forgetting. No, 18-2 because Duke went 19-1, I believe. But yeah, and they've got good guard play out of Hunter, and then a nice inside out game with their big. So I think they can beat SMU, who has struggled against quality opponents, more so just beat up on the teams below them. Coming back up, we get the Tobacco Road rivalry, which this would be really great to see. The last game of the season was really fun for a while. I thought North Carolina was going to pull it off. I predicted them to, and it looked like they had it even into the second half. And then Cooper Flag got it going defensively, and they just shut down this North Carolina offense. And seeing that, like even with how well North Carolina played up to that point, Duke was still too talented, too good defensively, too well rounded to let them beat them. So as much as I would like to see North Carolina win this game, I can't actually predict it to happen. I have to go with Duke to win this, as much as I would like to pick North Carolina. And then in our other semifinal, Louisville and Clemson, Hepburn versus Hunter. This I think would be a really tight game. Louisville won the only regular season matchup of the season. Maybe you would think maybe that leads me to pick Louisville, but I am actually going to go with Clemson here. This is a really hard game to pick, but I just think Clemson, like beating Duke was really impressive to me, and I think I think they have proven more to me than Louisville has proven. Because yes, Clemson lost some out of conference games, so did Louisville. But that Duke win is just like that showed me, okay, they can really beat top tier teams. I'm not sure Louisville can do that. So I just have a slightly higher opinion of Clemson than Louisville. Obviously, a tough game to pick, and that's really just what leads me to Clemson. Either one who wins, I would pick Duke. I know Clemson beat Duke in the regular season. I think they only played once. But it was at Clemson, and it was Duke's one loss in conference play. I think they would get revenge here. When you have the best player in Cooper Flag, when you have Maluak behind him, that level of rim protection, that's going to give Clemson problems like all night, I would imagine. And when you have Proctor playing good defense, they let him get away with a lot of hand checking. That could give Hunter problems. And I know Clemson being first time, I don't think you can do it again. I think you got a little bit lucky, especially like Cooper Flag slipping, Duke allowing you to come back. I don't think all of that would happen, and I think Duke will be ACC champions. Let me know what you guys think about that. Who do you have winning the ACC if it's not Duke? Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Until next time.